Morning, Fig fam. It's a chilly 37 out. Coffee. Figs out there. Compost. I want to show you guys my compost setup and what I'm doing with the orchard. All right, here are all the trees. I threw some compost on them. My Negro d'Agde, Italian honey, Salce, then my Col de Dames, Gris Blanc Noir, Genovese Nero, AF, and White Genoa, or I can say Genovese Bianco, but it's through Morley back in the day on figtrees.net. Teramo, if you say it in Italian, and Stella. Underrated fig. Stellas are awesome. They're huge, they're sweet. Everyone should have a Stella. I'm going to be promoting my Stella this year with my fig plants. Then I have my Peter's honey, also awesome. And then I have my Bordeaux Gris, my Bordeaux Noir, Violet de Soleil, which whenever you have, it's the same. Smith, Figo Preto, nice and pruned. I have my Paradiso Gene that I pruned to make a new base again. And my Hardy Chicago. And then I'm going to put a tree right here. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if I can get one or two more trees here. I do have a big water oak here, a semi-dormant tree that it gives foliage from March or end of March, April through October into part of November, and then loses for that short winter period. So I did prune it, but let me know. I was thinking about expanding it, but I want to show you what I did over here during our winter months. I haven't posted in a while, so I want to keep you guys in the loop. I am laying down weed blocker here. I'm going to make a little pop-up nursery over here for all my 3 gallons. I really want the greenhouse to be a propagation station, and I'm gonna put all my potted figs, transition them out here. I get good shade right in this spot with this little thicket behind my property. And so I think I'm gonna expand it one more sheet length out. So I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, so people can walk into the nursery, walk over here, and pick out some trees. But yeah, and then I want to show you guys where I put my compost. This is where I make my compost. Been working on it for a little bit now. Keep my pots back here. Here we go. I repurposed some wood from an old swing set for the slats in the front. And then I have my nice big, I try to make it like a cubic yard, if you will. But yeah. And then I think if I want to refine things, I'll put it into this composter. But you can see the quantity difference. I thought this was big when I first bought it, but look at this thing. So check it out. This is what I do because I want to make good soil. I fill this up. No pun intended, fill. Huh? All right. And then I dump all that out. And then generally, I'm going to shovel it, but I'll cover it all up. And if you leave it alone, you'll feel it, like it'll emanate heat, even in the wintertime. So the bacteria and mycorrhiza, they're doing their thing. It's really cool. But that's my compost setup. So I try to keep everything organic when I can. And I keep citrus out of it. I think I keep citrus or any meat products outside, and then animal products like eggshells I keep in here. So that's where some of my soil is going. I'm getting it tested every year to see how good it is. And then I laid out this weed blocker, so I'm gonna put the little nursery here. I may even it gets good shade, but I might put a little shade tunnel on it as I transition the trees out. But let me show you the setup on the inside. Boom. So these are almost ready to come outside. I've been giving them nice nutrients, so they have these beautiful dark leaves. And then these trees, as they're growing, some of them feel like they're maxing out. I have had a few failures, if you guys want to see, like these Godfathers. I don't know what their deal is. Their composition's not much different. Sometimes they just don't make it through that lull period. But I've had some great success outside of those. But Godfather seems to be the standout issue. Another one here. Not all of them. This Godfather is done fine. But then I over here this, but I had some winners, Black Madeiras. And then my LSU Purple just jumped. It just jumped. So that's pretty cool. You can see when they decide they're comfortable and they're going to grow a lot. So that's been a fun journey. Same with this Col de Don Blanc. This leaf has just doubled in size. So you take the little wins, but I want to just keep transparent with my losses. And then let me tell you something about Celeste figs. This is a whole tray of Celeste, and this is a whole tray of Celeste. No heat mat, no anything. They are just growing, and it's been really fun to watch that happen, because sometimes we get some of these more sensitive varieties. This, my white Madeira, is number one, but these black Madeiras sometimes are just so finicky or slow or whatever the case may be, and that's okay. But compared to these Celeste, they just pop and they just grow. And don't get me wrong, like Celeste in the Southeast is a great variety, right? But yeah, these trees are doing fine too. Some of them are getting comfortable. This one's stagnated a little bit, this Teramo, and same with this Celeste and Smith. It's just content in its size, you know. It's starting to push out another bud for some reason, but whatever the case may be, they're just doing their thing. And it's a little chilly out here. It's 53. It got down into the 30s, so again, differential on this is about 15 degrees. And then there's the lab table. Starting some seed trays over here. You can see my Tuscan kale, everything is popped back there. So I might make another batch of that. So when I'm selling these cuttings, I might throw in some kale options too, some pepper options, and some cauliflower. And yeah, everything's happily growing. I want to try to double these numbers by outdoor time. I have about 105 trees in here, not including cuttings, right? Transition the cuttings over, do another batch. But yeah, my avocado just popped too. So, holler if you have any questions. This is my little succulent station. It's more of like a succulent ICU because I haven't been taking the best care of them, and so now they're all rebounding ever since I bought this greenhouse. So yeah, that's the setup in here, guys. I'm also going to use this, shout out to Millennial Gardener with this, and a few of the other vloggers as well. The 511 is what I really want to use in the springtime and throughout the winter to stimulate growth in these newly rooted cuttings. I have the other one I've really enjoyed. You can see why my leaves are so dark and healthy on these 3 gallons of this Mother Earth. It's a kind of like a well-balanced 4-3-3. But I just add that every 2 weeks or so. But I'm just going to go more of the nitrogen based, less of the phosphorus, less of the potassium, right? It's important to have a little. We need that potassium for that sodium potassium pump between cells and everything, including us. And then garden lime, increase the pH, because if I'm doing stuff with peat, if you're working with peat and not coco coir, it is more acidic. And fig trees like neutral soil. A lot of you may already know that, but my ratio is 2 gallons. Every gallon of peat you use, I do 2 tablespoons, heaping tablespoons of the garden lime. And if anyone knows what garden lime is, it is dolomitic limestone. So if you use it, you actually don't need to use Epsom salts because magnesium is in dolomitic limestone with the calcium. And that is my geology nerd side coming out. Have a great morning, Fig fam. I'm gonna go cover up the scraps I just put in the compost bin. Cheers.